Now, the thrill and excitement of backing a winner, well,
just backing
like no other.
Is good. So imagine what it'd be like to own a golden slipper winner, but also imagine what it would be like to not be able to actually make it to the track on that occasion.
Well, a little earlier, I caught up with part owner of Miss Finland, Sky News host Alan Jones, and asked him what it was like watching that slipper victory from a hospital bed.
It is a bit odd. It's a bit like Saturday, I suppose, today, because, in fact, you'd think that someone who owned a golden slipper winner would be there, but I was stuck in hospital with a cancer operation. But we'd followed the form very closely, and we thought she was a good chance and a good price. So I told everyone to back it, but particularly the doctors and all the nurses. And your crowd had been very kind, because they'd stuck a TV in my room. I had a private room at a private hospital. It was at Strathfield, and they stuck the TV up there. So when she came home down the rails and Craig Williams took that wonderful run, the door was nearly knocked over, and these doctors and nurses, they'd never sort of won so much money in their life. Mind you, I think they only won about $50 or something, but they were the kind of people who would never have a punt, and that had a punt, and to think they got an easy $50 or $60 was a little bit more than they could comprehend. And then later on that night, John Massara, my partners, John Massara and John Lever, came in with the sash and the Golden Slipper trophy and so on. So there was I back in the bed, but we made a bit of a night of it, I can tell you.
Every cloud does have a silver lining, and there is an opportunity here for horse racing which almost seems insulated from the dramas that are going on around the world. Obviously no crowds at the races, but racing dreams can still very much come true, because people don't need to be there to feel and enjoy what can happen.
At the end of the day, there'll be thousands and thousands of people lined up in front of their TVs, and it takes us away from all this other nonsense. It's a wonderful experience. I just feel sorry for people who aren't interested in racing, Timmy. I don't know what they do on a Saturday. But that's why people laugh at me, because I hardly ever go to the races, which is terrible, because I want to see every race. And I sit in the Alan Jones stand, which is my lounge room with the tracksuit on. I don't worry about the black tie and everything, the tracksuit on, and I just love the whole deal, and I use my little phone to have a bit of a bet here and there. So, yeah, for people who enjoy it, it's a wonderful, wonderful experience, but you never think you'll own a golden slipper winner, I can tell you.
You and John Massara, of course, very, very close, and were together with Miss Finland. It's amazing how many horses he had and you've had connected with this great race.
Yes, well, look, John Massara, wonderful fellow, wonderful breeder, absolute gentleman, ornament to the industry, really. And we've just had so many good times. I mean, you know, today we've got Castellavecchio. So, Craig Williams is riding. Look, I'm sure John's never told the story, and I've never told the story, but here we are. Here's a bit of an exclusive to Timmy Gilbert. What happened was, on the week before the Golden Slipper, that they had trials on the Friday. That's the Friday before the Saturday before the Slipper. It's about 8 days out, because these are only babies, 2-year-olds. And when I came off air at 9 o'clock, I got a call from John, and I said, oh, you know, how'd it go? We were wondering how she'd trial. She was doing a bit of fast work. And he said, oh, it's bedlam out here. What do you mean? He said, oh, they're coming up and they're shifting jockeys. There's jockeys going off horses. There are connections here wanting everybody, and I've got everybody wanting to climb on Miss Finland and X and Y, and I won't mention the jockey's name. In some instances, they were wanting to be paid up front early on, which was not something John Massara was comfortable with, nor me. And anyway, he said, and then this young fella came up to me and said, Mr. Massara, I'd like to ride your horse. And John didn't tell me who it was, and he said, and he had a tear in his eye. And I said, who was this? He said, it was Craig Williams. I said, John, we take the bloke with the tear in his eye. And there we are. Magnificent ride. I mean, he pulled the horse back at the beginning out of the gate, decided he'd ride for a bit of luck, and got the rails run when they drifted out on the turn, and home they came. So it's a lovely story. We took the bloke with the tear in his eye. He wanted it.
Well, maybe a bit of serendipity. You chose the jockey with the tear in his eye, Craig Williams, on Castellavecchio in the Rosehill Guineas today. Yeah,
well, Shadow Hero, a very good horse and very well trained. Mark Newman's doing a terrific job with his stable. But I'll tell you what, we'll be 3 lengths better today than we were 2 weeks ago. So there you are. Have a go. Have a slash.